great right now.
Really?
Apparently they haven't slept together in a long time. I actually think Jen's cheating on her.
Why do you think that?
You know, lack of intimacy issues. It's just all this stress from work. I think I'm just burnt out, Leah.
That's not good.
Mm-mm. How's your day?
It's fine. Yeah, I get it.
Where's the little one?
Yeah, sleeping.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Saying that from experience.
You okay?
Yeah, all the baby stuff, you know? Our sex life is a little rocky at the moment.
You guys need a break from this routine. Like, just come have some fun with me. And Maggie.
Maggie's in town? And I almost didn't recognize you. This is my wife, Leah. Leah, this is Maggie.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
No, in this tribe we only do hugs. I want to go back to work. Well, I was thinking maybe Maggie could come help out with Ellie. Have a good day then.
Of course. Let me know if I can be of any help at all.
Thank you.
All right, cool.
Go have fun.
How's it going?
You could try exploring.
You guys have a lot of options here. I knew it.
No, I don't know why we're doing this tonight. So how do you keep the spark alive?
All I'm trying to say, it is a mutual agreement of sorts. I don't resent my wife, and she doesn't ask me any questions.
Oh my god, it's no one's fault, okay?
It's your life. I'll see you tomorrow.
Whatever we do is for our kids anyway.
You deserve someone that loves you as much as you love them.
I was just kind of watching you and Leah. You guys take really good care of each other. I don't know, I think that's something I can only dream about.
Just ride the wave, and you will be okay.
Looks pretty perfect from here.
I feel like it's worse than bad because if it were bad, we'd be feeling something.
Well, I mean, you did just have a baby, so it's gonna take, a little while to get back to normal.
Oh boy.
Boom, there you go. That was the trailer for Normal. It will be arriving on digital on demand on July 22nd. I am Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World. And as you see on the screen, I have a special guest, the director, the writer, Mragendra Singh. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Truly a pleasure. I have to ask you out the gate. I was reviewing your press kit, and what really touched me was the statement that was included about normal, being normal, the state of normal. It really touched me profoundly. My real last name is Strange, and growing up with a last name Strange, I'm sure you can understand that. And we're both, and as an immigrant, as a person of color yourself, you speak that within your statement as well. It touched me. So like, I feel you and I are the same person. So I really want to thank you for putting that in such great words about what is normal. So if we can kind of maybe start with that, and then that is, I think, a perfect gateway to lead into, talking about the film.
So like as in like what is normal to me, or like how the concept
yeah, and in
just
general,
like,
kind of coming off of that statement that you wrote, since I didn't state what you wrote out there, I just kind of put it out there that I read this.
Yeah.
He made this amazing statement, y'all, that we got in a press kit, and it just touched me wholeheartedly.
I mean, for like, to be honest, like I have struggled like entire life being normal, like what is normal and things like this. And like, to be honest, like as we are growing up, and especially in this world when everybody was trying to be unique, and everybody like what is like, I'm not saying nobody should be extraordinary. Of course, we should have extraordinary things, but like the whole concept of normal is like, so it somehow became like negative.
Yeah.
Also, it's like I remember I had a conversation with somebody before I was made the film. And they said to me that normal is boring, and I was like, interesting. As an immigrant, I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to define my normal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like where I fit in. Like and this person who is an American citizen, and to them normal is boring. I became an American citizen, but I was like, that was interesting to me. And I remember like naming the film Normal, there was like a lot of backlash, and that, not backlash, it's normal, but there's like a lot of like discussions about like why you want to name the film Normal. And I was like, if you think about it, entire life, we are trying to reach our utopia, our normal, like what is our routine is like, and yeah. So and and especially and as a person of color who is also an immigrant, we we are. I mean, there are very few of us like who actually break out and do like film and like arts and stuff. Most of us like trying to put their head down and keep like trying to make it work. And yeah, so that is really that's our story, I guess, in a
Yeah.
way.
Oh no. Again,
Yeah,
like I said earlier, as an Asian immigrant myself, Filipino
yeah,
American, and just you kind of put your story in that statement, and I read your bio as well. You know, I was as an Asian American, be an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, but I wanted to go into
yeah,
the arts, and so I saw myself in you
yeah.
as well, and just that assimilation cultural aspect, that journey that happens with us as well as
Mhm.
the young of these adults that moved here, right, for a better life. And
Yeah.
we just feel
I
compelled to
mean,
do that, but yet we want to chart our own course. So we have those layers. And then when you become married and you have kids, I'm married with a beautiful daughter, and just how your film, I cannot wait to watch this, y'all. And y'all need to check it out when it drops July 22nd on digital on demand. But it's just, there's so many parallels, and I'm so fascinated by it and so intrigued, and just your personal story. So just tell me how, I guess then, you brought up, conversations you had with other people, but I guess the pre-pro, how this film came together. You spoke a little bit how you chose to name it Normal. Wonderful way you put the title in there as well. I like how you played off the A and the L and the period, by the way, to give you some props.
yeah.
How it all came together, and getting it to where we see it now.
So Normal started as a um I mean, as like I was working on something else, like how every film story starts. I was working on something else. It was going places and things, and it was taking forever. And I was like, I wanted to do something where I could do it on my own. I've made like a lot of short films, won awards here and there, and I was looking for that outlet. Like, okay, what if? And a friend of mine, he actually ended up becoming a producer on the film eventually. He went and he made his feature in a very short amount of time, and he's like, see, I can do it. You can do it. It's like it's just as simple as that. Just write something good. If you want inspiration, you can watch like a lot of different films, like watch Mumblecore, because that is where that was like the whole independent film revolution kind of like restarted in like early 2000s. So when we were like big uh, fans of that. So it's like watch Mumblecore, watch like Dogma films, like see where you can. And I was like, yeah. And I was just I and I had this idea a long time ago. Going through a rough patch in my marriage, at that point, and I wrote this: what if something like this happened? What will come out of it? And I sat down and wrote the script in 15 days, the first draft, just like really disciplined. And then I sent him the script. I sent my wife at the time the script, and then that's where it all started. Like, and then we did table reads, and I was like, yeah, I can do it. And I was willing to go and shoot it on my own. Like, to be honest, I was like, if it comes to iPhone, I can do it. Um, and and then I called my DP, LT Chang. I was like, hey, I have this script, read it, let me know what you think. And he's like, what do you want to do with it? I was like, I want to make it. He's like, okay, let's do it. And he came on board. And then I got other producers on board, and like it just like happens. And the lead of the film, Asim and I, we were like developing something else at that point. And he went to shoot. He went for a shoot, I think, in New York, and he came back after 2 months. And I was like, hey, I have a script, read it, let me know what you think. And I mean, I said like, you read for the lead. And he said he read it. He's like, I love it. I love the nuances. I love everything you brought to it. It's like, it's not like we are like we're not stereotype like attaching to any stereotypes. Like we're normalizing who we are.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing of being assimilated folks, assimilated immigrants who are now understand the culture and we part of culture, who have not abandoned their own roots still. And so we and this is for us, like we of course we might have accents. I don't even know what accent is, to be honest. Like, but yeah, I mean, it's like it's just like it shows who we are, and it's showing us in a different light from what we are traditionally portrayed as, like Apu from 7-Eleven. I mean, like stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he jumped on, like he got on board, and then I was like, okay, so I have the lead attached, I have this, and I was like, let's figure it out, and then it just like serendipitously everything worked, and we did like auditions actually to find our two female leads, and like for all the other stuff we have auditions, except for Aniket's role. And it was like this was happening in March, and in August, we started auditions. In September 16th, we started shooting.
Wow.
We wrapped on September 30th in 14 days. And then I left for Reykjavik to attend a filmmaker's lab. And we came, and then editing took some time because purposefully I wanted it to be performance heavy film. So I rehearsed with actors and like spent good amount of time, and they were all gracious enough to entertain my ask of like giving me time, like, and we rehearsed for like 2 weeks at least before, and chose to keep longer takes and have like a lot of mise en scène. So it looks like you're living with them rather than like, coverage and stuff. That was an active choice on my part, because I was like, I don't want to do coverage for a reason, because then the coverage, you kind of lose the rhythm and the flow of the reality we are trying to portray. And when we were in the editing room, I was pulling my hair. It's like, oh, I should have done coverage, but I'm glad I didn't. It's like, at the director, you always like, oh, I should have done this, that. But by the time when we hit our 90-minute mark, like the film, I was happy. I was like it, and I don't know, since you're a filmmaker too, I don't know how your process is, but my process is like, I only get happy when I see an assembly that is working, and then I can see where like this could happen. I can see the possibilities on that rough cut, and then we have the picture lock. That's the only time I'm like, oh my God, I think this is good. After that, I was like, okay, need to do this. You have to keep figuring it out how to fix it. And like we had effect shots in the film, we had to clean footage. There's a lot of stuff that went in the post because we were shooting on indie scale for this thing. So there's something here and there.
Yeah.
Eventually, editing took us like a year to finish it. Yeah.
Wow. Oh man. Again, as a filmmaker as well, I love those notes on process and kind of making it what you want it to be. I feel that in every way. In regards to, so, we kind of went into like casting and making the film, and I led off, I think my question was like with the pre-pro. In regards to taking that script, and you said you showed it to your ex-wife, or I'm not sure if it was ex-wife or what, but what was that, taking that personal story? What was the most difficult aspect of in that? Were there any notes from others, and how did that go about, and were it kept in the film, or did you make certain changes? What was the hardest part, I guess, of the script and then actual production?
I mean, so
in translation,
in translation. Yeah, I mean, there was like, I'm a very collaborative director in that way. So I entertain everybody's notes. I took them. That's a different discussion. But I entertain everybody's notes. I was like, okay, if they are saying it, to see what I can do. So actually, we end up shooting from draft 1 to draft 10, and yeah, it's like it's so funny because my ex-wife, and we were married at that time. And normal, in a weird way, like life imitated art. So we are not together now, and now I have a daughter, and that was kind of like premise of the film. So maybe, and uh, and yeah, at that point, like she did ask me that, like, do you think this is gonna happen to us? I was like, I don't think so. I hope not. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that's personal story. Like we like, but I think that's what good thing about art is. Like you have to tell the truth. You have to through the medium story. You actually have to talk about issues and
Yeah.
um, um, issues and like and the concerns. You know, people are going through. I
Mhm.
feel, I mean, at that point, I didn't even think like it would. I was like, oh yeah, this could happen to me. This could end, and it's part of being in a relationship for a long time. Like these things happen. So I just wanted to tell a tell a story where with a very unbiased lens. So even like we like I mean like there are a lot of notes, man. Like there were a lot of notes. Like even like in editing wise, we the first assembly was like 120 minutes, and I was like, oh, where are we gonna cut because we need to cover it. So that
Yeah.
all of this stuff going on, and then we like, and then we I worked with my producing team. They were very helpful at that point, like coming up with giving creative decisions, like creative directions, and like ways like, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And then like this community actually like of technicians and creative artists and all of that, like it brought the film to what it's being today. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Um,
Wonderful. The best art, I think, comes from experience, and
yeah.
hardship, and it's how we move past it and forward and learn from it and create and keep going. I think that's beautiful and amazing. So you get it out there, you get the script approved, you get the team, as you stated earlier, you get rolling. Tell me about we brought up a little bit about how you cast the film. Can we talk about the two people behind me and the other
Yeah.
amazing cast you put together, and their contributions to the project, and that collaborative effort in getting everybody to this is kind of a hard film. It's got a lot of dramatic feats to it, but it's also very purposeful in its message, which is so important, and that's why I admire it. So, how was that with the cast? Did they all come with it, wanting to share in that message? And how was that for you, bringing them all together to do that?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because I so Aniket Asim. So we were like, I think he's the first person I showed the script other than like my other producing partners, and he was on board from the get go. Like he's like, yeah, I love it, and I mean, and we kind of have similar sensibility. We kind of grew up like in similar households and stuff like that. So it's like there's very like this camaraderie is there, and like he's my bro, you know. And then the other person, Cynthia, we actually um, found her through casting, and I think Cynthia's audition was the one that we keep her bringing her for callbacks after callbacks after callback because because she was like, I mean, the thing is like I liked her like the day off, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm just like jumping too quickly on a decision, and I was like, I just wanted to see, and Cynthia is like such a trooper. She came for all the callbacks and eventually like making this character like justified so beautifully. And during the shoot, I found out like she was going through some personal stuff at that point that was very synonymous, or yes, synonymous, the right word, synonymous to her personal life that was going on at that time. So that was kind of like her way of dealing with that too, which and she's a great actor, so she didn't tell me any of that what was going on, but and brought like her own choices and personality to it, which was really important. There was one anecdote. I made the character Taurus, and Cynthia happens to be Taurus, so it's kind of cool. And then for Leah, the female lead of the film, who plays Aniket's wife, Susanna, we also found her through through casting, and she actually came to read for Cynthia's character, Maggie's, and she was reading it, and I was like, hold on, and I kid you not, I have gone through like a lot of auditions for that character, Leah's character, and nobody was sticking it. And the way she was reading it, and me and my other producing partners like, hey, um, let's see if she reads for Leah, and then we gave her the script, and I was blown away. And then we brought for a chemistry read, and it just felt so natural and organic. And I was like, okay, they're going to be the leads. And who else is there? Cyrus is an old friend of mine. My very first film I made, he was in it. And I asked him if he's around because he came and read for the part of Christian. It just made sense. I mean, I also know him, so kind of like, you kind of write about your friend sometimes, so that what happened. Awesome. And Dushyant is another friend who came for. I was like, hey, can you come and read for a part? And he just did. And I wanted him to have a beard, so I called him. I was like, hey, do you still have your beard? He's like, yep, I do. I was like, all right, come on, dude, let's do the audition and let's do it. And Jen also the same thing, audition. She came to read for Leah, I think, and I was like, oh, you're Jen. Like, it's like the way she read it, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Mariam, his name, and the Mav is Tabby, the most beloved character of the film. Like, anybody who has seen the movie, they all love Mav's character, Tabby. And it was audition, and the whole producing team was like, we need to have her in the film. Like that. So yeah, so that was, and Uttara is like our she played Bishan's wife. I knew her for a while, and I would just ask her if she's a great actor. I was like, hey, are you available for a day? Come help your brother.
That's awesome.
And then the producers found the child. I don't know how they did it, the magic, but it's their child. I was like, that's amazing.
Excellent. I love that. I love those kind of insights. It makes it feels a little bit more whole. So you wrap on the project. You get into editing. As the writer, director, editor, and you're back there, production team. That's where the real work comes, right? What was it like finalizing out the projects into the final cut? And then from what I see before it opens to everywhere on July 22nd, you toured some festivals. What has the reception been and the feeling from the entire cast and crew?
Yeah, so I'm going to go a little technical about editing, and then I'll jump into the festival. So this is the first time the Red came out with the 8K sensor size. So we shot, and that was the camera at hand we have. So we shot 8K. So figuring out how to create proxies and how to work with this bigger file or small resolution was a challenge in a way, because we come up with like different ways to figure out the workflow. So my producer partner Manak, he's also an editor. I also work as an editor sometimes, and so we basically, and our DPLT, we all were like kind of like brainstorming how to make it work and more efficient, because we don't want to touch the raw file, man. I mean, it's like they were super.
Yeah.
Now the computers can actually handle it. Like, it's like years later, it's like so easy. Like I put that file on this computer and it will work. But at that point, we were like, yeah. Anyways, so we came up with like our own workflow, and I got this. They were starting the SSD drives for the first time, so we created proxies, and there are two versions of it. And I had one with me, and I had another one with Manak. Manak did the assembly on it, and then I did polish on the assembly. So whatever we see most of the film is like how Manak put it, and then I would just put it, and then we did like some structural changes while editing. But that little thing was so helpful. Like, I would edit it from anywhere.
Yeah.
I will go through it. I was like, oh, excuse me, can cut here, can cut there, and all of that. 1 second, I just want to throw it there.
No worries.
Oh, yeah. And then when we have the whole thing all wrapped, post was easy. After we finished things, like there was some visual effects things we have to do, uh, and yeah, and that was fine. And then we got into Los Angeles Asian Pacific Film Festival. That's where we opened. We got very good reviews from there. And I remember after the screening, I came out. A couple of women came to me and spoke to me like, "We hate you because you made us feel something in this film." And I was like, "I think it's a compliment."
That's the biggest
"Did you hate the
compliment.
movie?"
I love that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. I was like, this is a compliment, right? Yeah, so it was, and a bunch of friends showed up, and like everybody said this thing, like, "Oh, we showed up because you're our friend, you know, you're our buddy, and we want to go support you and stuff." And like while watching the film, they're like, it's really good. That's what they told me. uh, and then some of them guys like, "Oh, let's have coffee after this film." Like after they saw the movie, it's like we thought like it's gonna not go anywhere, and then suddenly the things happen and stuff, and it's like very honest, very this, and like, so I was like, "Thank you for coming, thank you for supporting," and I'm glad that that movie didn't suck for you.
Yeah.
Because everybody has different tastes, you know. It's like, but it
Yeah.
was nice when your peers are coming and telling you that they genuinely like your film. That was really
Oh
good.
yeah.
And then we played in Singapore International South Asian Film Festival. That's where we won the Best Screenplay Award. And then we played in Jagran Festival. They have two chapters in Delhi and Bombay. So we got nominated there. We got like a very good spread from Indian Express,
Awesome.
a newspaper there. And then we played in Seattle Asian Film Festival, and then pandemic hit. So we wanted to go further, but then we're like, okay, let's try to find like a distributor and get the movie out because we want people to see the film. Like, I mean, it's great to have festivals around and stuff, but I believe like the film's worth is when people get to see it. I mean, I love festivals. I love going to festivals. It's so much fun. But at one point, I was like, yeah, I mean, I want people to see the movie. I was kind of getting anxious, and then post-pandemic and all the backlog and stuff, we finally able to release it now, which is I'm super grateful.
Yeah.
And I think people are gonna love it. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's why we create art, right? To tell and speak to the people, and it's so important. The festival circuit is fun, but you know, it's all about getting that distribution and getting all eyes, as many eyes as we can, to the material.
Yeah, I mean, the distribution sealed the deal for us in that way. Like, because when we start getting interest in distributors, so like, okay, I think this is the right course, like to pursue the distribution circuit right now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Definitely. And everybody, you're all going to see it on July 22nd when it's on digital and video on demand. And it's already available right now for pre-order. So Normal is going to be out there, and everyone will see it. Eyes will be on it. But I'm sure you have other stories to tell coming from this project. You put so much time into it now, right? And now it's the distribution. It's time for more stories to tell. And I know, and I get the vibe because I feel you're very much like the same person as I am. We want to share more.
Yes.
Normal was 100%. Such a personal project for you. Are there any things that without spoilers, I know we also don't want to give away too much coming out as well. But what, you know, we talked about what the reception has been since then, but what's more on your plate that you want to tell the world, and or what can we expect that you can talk on right now?
I mean, so I'll talk about it. I have a project that is very close to me because there was something as an immigrant when you come to a country, you know, in pursuit of American dream, and then like 3 months into it, and then you realize that you can get shot anywhere and die, and that spurred this whole thing, like me looking into this whole. I'm sorry, I'm being political, but like seeing this whole the non-regulation of gun, like the gun control, like, you know. And that was something that haunted me. And then San Diego happened, and I was like, wow, I think now it will. And I come from a country where they have strict gun laws, so it's really hard to get like any firearms. And here it's like it's so easy. And then and I start following this stuff closely and closely. Then San Diego happened, Colorado happened, and Orlando happened, and this like now it's like so much happened.
Yeah.
And then when I realized like I'm going to be a dad, then I was like, oh man, it's I have my daughter is like two or something. She'll be 3 in September, and I was like, I don't feel safe for her, and that spurred me into looking into knowing about what happens when people lose somebody. And then I have a friend who lost her husband also in 2016. So I was talking to her at that point. And then the grief and this kind of like threw me in this whole spiral of like figuring it out, how we can do something about this. And as an artist, what I can do, I can make art that could actually invoke any change or reaction or something. So I wrote a movie called Still Here that deals with the aftermath of a school shooting, where we never see the school shooting, where we never see, like we see the characters, but we never see the death or anything, but we see what became of it. And that's the whole film is about. So I finished writing it like a year ago or year and a half ago. And then we put it on different channels to see how the script is. It got like very good ratings and people seem to like it. We have attachment, we have producers working on it. So we're developing that and trying to make it, trying to get it out there, because I think it's an important story to be told. And the thing is, like, nobody talks about the people who are left behind.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about like the victim and the shooter and stuff, but what about the families of the folks who have to deal with the aftermath? Like, I mean, the press is going to go away. Like things are going to disappear, but you have to live. You have to get used to living with that void, and that is like, and especially being a father, it's like, it's just really hard. And so I just like pour my heart into the script, which is called Still Here, and that's my next project. And I'm working some other projects also, trying some fun like thrillers and things, and a sci-fi project, and but like that's my focus right now.
Wow. I hate to say that I love that. I it's more so like it's sorely needed, I'm glad that you're speaking in regards to that subject, because I again, as a filmmaker, I think, and that's I'm an empath, and we feel what's going on with the world and society. And I feel if I have that opportunity, or that it's partially my duty to use my medium to speak on these things that are so important that not everybody's paying attention to. And so I commend you, honestly, especially about this particular subject. Hate to bring it to my my daughter a couple months back there was a shooting at a carnival, and she knew the people that got shot, and was aware of the people that got shot. And so I had to put her in therapy I'm dealing with that aftermath now.
Yeah.
So like you said, Still Here, that's my child's story right now, and it's so important.
It's really hard.
I think films like this that can speak on this, because that's why we also use the film medium for, when it's difficult to talk on, like your film Normal, which I think is so important and wonderful. And everybody check it out July 22nd. But that's why I love you now as a filmmaker, man. I don't even know you that well. We're getting to know each other, but now I think I'm a fan.
We'll be friends.
You're using your medium to speak on important subjects that we need to speak on. So I'm looking forward to Still Here. Please keep in touch with that development. I'd love to give it love and light and spread it to the world. But I admire that, and I thank you for using your ability to talk about these important subjects. So anyway, Normal, everybody, as you see. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I'm just so thankful for Mr. Singh coming through to talk to me and talk about this project. And again, let's show love and light with Still Here when that comes through its way as well. For the people that might be listening and driving at the same time to this interview, we like to end off with, how can people follow you online? Are there any socials or anything we can put out there?
Yeah, definitely. My IG, my Instagram is, my name is cool, but whatever.
I love that.
Yeah, and Twitter is my first name, last name, Mragendra Singh. I'm mostly active on Twitter. Actually, I'm active on both, but I'm mostly active on Twitter. And I'm more of like a reader than poster. Like I get my, daily fix of social media through these apps. But yeah, I'm not that big of a poster. I should be, I know. But like, I have to write, man. I have to make movies.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for Normal. Everybody, check out Normal when it drops on July 22nd, digital and video on demand. And make sure you follow my friend. I'll have all of his information in the description below. Mragendra Singh.
Before I go, I want to give a shout out to my friend Dushyant, who is also in the movie, and he's also a phenomenal designer. And this is the shirt I'm wearing. Is designed by him. Yeah.
Let's go.
So, yeah.
I love it. Shout out to amazing friends that support the arts and support each other. I love it. Everybody, Mragendra Singh, Normal, video on demand, digital, July 22nd. Your boy Kuya P. This is Nerds Rule the World.
Don't